All right, should have Whit joining us momentarily. So this is what are we on? Episode 6. This is the 5th conversation. The last one was our first technical issue with Scott. I'll try to get that rescheduled. Got a couple blocks in the day. VJ is going to shift her time to 11:30, so we'll have a couple changes. But 30 conversations crammed into 30 hours with little to no planning. What else could go wrong? Nothing, right? All right, we're waiting for Whit. This episode sponsored by cold coffee and cold water. So what's really got an interesting thing going on at BadUnicorn.vc. I would highly encourage you to follow those guys on Twitter. They are just doing tremendous things in no code and building in public and sharing. So Whit's doing a great job, and, as well as Ash, guys that I've had the pleasure to have conversations with over the past few months, and really excited about what they're doing. All right, we'll give Whit a few more minutes to join, and if not, we'll get that rescheduled and chalk it up to another oops. As is to be expected in entrepreneurship, things don't always go as well as planned. So we'll just adjust on the go. Here's Whit. What's up, buddy? Hang on. Hey, bud. Man, I was going through. I was just chatting live about how awesome you are. Everybody should follow you on Twitter, and how I'm a huge fan, man. Thanks for jumping in.
Awesome. I'm excited to hop in.
I got a little nervous, man, because the last episode I just did, it was like a black screen and it wasn't working for some reason. So I got a little bit nervous.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So you're number, what are we on? You're number 5 out of 30, crammed into 30 hours. And I got to tell you, man, some of this that I'm doing is inspired by what you guys are doing. Like, I had this idea on Tuesday. I got a logo, I got a domain, I built a website in Webflow, set up social channels, recruited, and booked 30 people to have conversations. So I went from this bad idea, right, to this real thing in a week. So tell everybody what you're up to, what BadUnicorn is all about, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool. No, this is awesome. So I'm Whit. I started something called BadUnicorn around 4 months ago. The premise is we build out bad startup ideas every other week. And sometimes they're just bad ideas. Sometimes they're dumb. Sometimes they're just funny ideas. And so we started with this constraint where just every other Friday, we're going to drop a new bad startup each week. And that's what we've been doing. And we've currently dropped 8 products, going on 9. And we're kind of I guess like our way we're growing our audience is we're a newsletter. So you can sign up on our website at BadUnicorn.vc. And and we're currently at 1,600 email subscribers, and hoping to grow some more.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's 4 months, tremendous growth. Several products already out there. You're doing a lot in no code. I'd love to hear. I mean, I know all the products, obviously, but can you talk about a couple of the products that maybe have gotten the most traction or the most interest?
Yeah, I guess I'll go in somewhat of an order. So the first one we dropped was something called Musk on Mars. If you want to check out the domain, it's muskonmars.space. And the whole premise is we have you can pick any day in the future. You can book the day, and that day you can book that day for $1, and that day is your day. No one else can have it. And the goal is you're trying to pick the day that physical Elon Musk lands on physical Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the correct day, then you get the pot. pot of money of the $1 day purchases, and it was more of kind of just I guess I didn't know if I was gonna like get a lot of purchases or anything, but the point was just kind of a fun thing where it's like, I don't know, it forced people for the first time ever to like pick a day, be like, I think Elon Musk is gonna be there in 2039, whatever day.
What's your day? What did you pick?
I think it was like 2042. I'm not even sure the exact date, but it's like it books you and like puts you on your calendar. So for the people who did buy a day, I think, and some people are like, oh, like why would I spend $1 on this, which is understandable too. But it is kind of funny that like someone's going to have bought a day in 2020 and then they booked a day in Calendly, and on their calendar in like 2028 or something, they're gonna see like Musk on Mars. Like, what is this? Like, what is this thing? And so like years later, people are gonna see that on their calendar, which would be kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Other ones, we have something called Unslack. Unslack.co is the domain, and we kind of parodied Slack's product. Slack had a big acquisition, and we decided to kind of play off that like buzz, and we built a like a competing like joke product, and we built the whole site inside of a shared Google Sheets. And so just a bunch of funny copy around kind of under engineering. That was a popular one. And then probably the other one that I liked a lot was slow.com. Built a Chrome extension. So there's a company called Fast for anyone listening, and I think they're fast.co. They're trying to put one-click checkout on every website on the internet, which is a really cool vision. But we decided to go in the inverse and build something called Slow, in which we like add more friction to the checkout process. Built a Chrome extension that does that. And those are probably the 3 top out of the 8.
That's great. What so why and like where does it play in for the strategy to have such a prolific release schedule? Like, why commit to that? I mean, you didn't owe that to anybody. Like, why do that to yourself? And like, why, and what does that mean for you guys?
I think I started where it's like, it's like, it would be a tough constraint. Like, it's a possible constraint, but it was a tough one. And also like not many people do, I guess also it's like, not many people do like 3-week cadences on stuff, or like, it just gets weirder when like you either pick like weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And like, I knew weekly would probably be a little too ambitious because it is something I'm like currently doing on the side. So every 3 weeks would have been like a weird cadence. Monthly would have been too, like, it wouldn't have been a fast enough cadence. So just kind of bi-weekly just sounded right. And then also, I mean, it's a tough constraint. So it was one of those ones where it's like each week, even still, like after we've done 8 of them, like we're stretching ourselves to get out a product that we are somewhat not embarrassed of. Because it is like, it's one of those, it's like Parkinson's law where the time allotted for an activity, it always stretches. The work to do that activity stretches. So like if I say, if I'm going to build this product in 3 weeks, it'll take 3 weeks. But if I say I'm going to build it in 2 weeks, it'll take 2 weeks. And we found that to be true with BadUnicorn, because like there's so much to do when you're building a product, and like right up until the second, even if we've built the products like 2 weeks earlier or like a week earlier, there's so much to do and so much to like change that it doesn't really matter. Like if you care about the product, you're going to keep making iterations to it. So like, that constraint just is like, we're going to do as much as we can until the date and we're shipping it.
That's cool. Are you familiar with Mubs? Adam Marks introduced me to Mubs, and he was on earlier this morning. We had a really good conversation.
Nice.
I brought up Well, two things related to you. One, he had this idea that he just kind of threw out as Facebook for pets, and we kind of started talking about that, where like maybe it should be like a Tinder for pets, or like farmers only for pets, where people can match their pets and go out for a walk in the park. So I thought that would be interesting. But the other thing that's probably more relevant is that we talked about where no code belongs sort of in the landscape of entrepreneurship, and we talked about allowing non-technical co-founders to get something out into the world as their MVP and learn from the market. From your perspective, as somebody who's really prolific, where do you see no code fitting into entrepreneurship, et cetera?
It's just I mean, as far as no code entrepreneurship, they're like, for me, they're like the exact same thing. Like they're so closely aligned that like the reason, I mean, I guess some people are doing no code for like, I guess other reasons or avenues, but like I, for a long time, was like just spinning my wheels because I wanted to be like a maker, like a builder, an entrepreneur. Like I wanted to build businesses, but I couldn't. And so I just talked about ideas for like a long, long time. And so it was really my only way to, I guess, achieve my goal, which is like build something, which sounds simple, but I just wanted to build something, and like no code allowed me to do that. So they're kind of, for me, no code will always be like the reason I'm able to have any sort of success. Because I can now build something, and now if I do need to have someone like technical build it, I can leverage that. And so it's the ultimate like way to like equal the leverage field of like some people have capital, some people have different skill sets, and I'm not even like a very skilled no coder, and like the playing fields like feels a lot more even, and that can be true for like anyone, like even if you're just now getting into no code or not. And then I also see, I guess, no code, it's gonna like move into just as like the requirements to like learn no code are getting lower and lower. Right. It's gonna like move into like every single creator space where like I think and all influencers are like they can make their own site, or they'll have someone make their site for really cheap. So there's gonna be a lot more internet real estate, or people like taking up internet real estate, regardless of your technical ability.
Yeah, that value of the low barrier to entry is critical. I mean, for whether it's an early entrepreneur or not entrepreneur, to get something out to the world, to get that feedback and figure out at a really low risk if this thing is going to have any legs or not. So it's critical. When do you think, is that something that should be introduced into public school system where we're doing some no code related to, I mean, you can talk about no code related to marketing, related to a lot of different subjects, not necessarily just entrepreneurship. Is this something that you think should be taught larger scale?
It would be like the thing that, it would be like a side course, even especially like in like an entrepreneurship department. Sure. Where like if there was I went to University of Georgia, and they did a bunch of things to like teach us about business and about entrepreneurship, and they talked about MVP. Like they have classes about like lean startup like methodologies, like a lot of like great principles. But like really, when you look at it, if you taught, I don't know, if you taught like lean startup methods, like, and no code, like that's like really the leanest you can get in today's environment. So like it's the methodologies, like the principles are important, but I guess like diving into the tools, or at least like notifying them like if you want to build something, like this is what you would do. But it's still early days. Like I don't have like a friend that I can like casually say no code to and not have to explain like no code, like what's no code. I'll say, well, it's like, you know how like you code stuff like for a website, just like, so I think it's still like very early days, but I've seen some people try to like kind of say the prediction of like, well, not like, I guess in the last like 10 years, there's been so many new marketing tools.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, like that was like kind of like, I don't know, like there were some like early like players in that like marketing, like leveraging those marketing tools. And now they're like at the top of the table as far as like influential people.
Mm-hmm.
I think no code will slowly move that way where, where like you'll be able to, like a lot of like young or anyone will like start a small no code agency and just build websites or products for people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've only recently become familiar enough to be able to talk about no code. And I mean, my own example on this ridiculous podcast, like I wouldn't have known what to do not long ago. Like, okay, I need a logo. Now I go to Canva and it took me 10 minutes to make a logo. And I went on Webflow, you know, and built a shitty website, you know, in like an hour. And it's amazing what can be done if you just want to get your idea out to the world. And I think it's going to have a really big place. I think you're right. It's alongside Lean Startup. It could be its own book next to Lean Startup, but I think they certainly go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. You mentioned BadUnicorn is your side thing right now. In your day job, you have a lot of exposure to startups and entrepreneurs. What are some things you're seeing? What are you excited about in startups and entrepreneurship right now?
In my day job, I work for Techstars. I'm a sourcing associate. So I'm finding a bunch of startups and putting them in a spreadsheet for my my managing director to look at. I guess some things I'm excited about. I don't know. I think like just anything around the creator economy tools, like tools that either help people create or help people make money after they create, are like two things that are just like, they're just bound to get bigger. So I don't know, as far as like investing in like the creator economy, and if you invest in creator economy, you're basically investing in the internet and like the growth of the internet, and the internet is just like inevitably going to grow. So they're not bad bets to place. And and then also like I myself am like a mini creator right now. So I like just any tools that are helping people, whether it be like entrepreneurs or like painters, like anything that is like helping people that do creative work make money or monetize are cool, are really fascinating.
Awesome. So I'd love to give you the last word, words of wisdom, lessons learned, advice, tips, whatever you've got in your mind. I'd love to hear it.
So let me see. I guess for BadUnicorn's case, I've learned just kind of like getting out of your comfort zone is like one of the most important things. Like trying to force yourself out of your comfort zone. I just did a talk this morning, and I don't talk publicly, or I don't get on podcasts often, so I'm not the greatest speaker. But I had to talk for like 15 minutes, 50, and I haven't talked for like 15 minutes, much less 50. And so, I guess just anecdotally, and BadUnicorn itself, like every product is like pushing myself out of my comfort zone, or I'm trying to be. Now that people are following and they are watching BadUnicorn and expecting it to be funny, now I'm trying to be funny more. And I think that makes it tougher. So like before, I was just like kind of having fun, and I guess those two things: try to stay out of your comfort zone and try to have fun with it. Most of those products I mentioned that were great were just when I was having fun, rather than like trying to make something funny or good.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you stopping by. As I've said, I'm a really big fan of what you're doing, and of you. So thanks for being on, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on.
Thanks, Luke. This is awesome. So this is going to be, so do you have another person hopping on? Is it 11:20 or 11:30?
11:30. Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta, I basically just need to go pee and, fill my water up. But and like So I think I've got, what was it, 20, hang on, 20, 21 or 22 today. And then another 9 or 10 tomorrow. So
Sweet.
it's fun, man. Looking forward to going back and kind of, watching them all. But
Cool.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I mean it, man. You like what you guys are doing, kind of inspired me that I could maybe put something a little bit crazy together and see what happens. And I think that sort of inspiration you'll see more and more of. Not that you're set out to do that necessarily, but I think more and more people are going to be inspired, by like, hey, I can put something out to the world. Doesn't cost a lot of money. Doesn't take a whole lot of technical skills, and
For
you can
sure.
just go after it.
For sure. Well, yeah. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. Even this tool, like this StreamYard, this is awesome.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, big shouts to StreamYard. Previously, I did Zoom, which Zoom's a fine product, but StreamYard just takes it to a new level when you're trying to do this kind of thing. So
yeah, no, this is cool.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I'll chat with you soon.
Cool. See ya.
All right, see ya.
Bye.